I personally love it when things go down in the NBA, and things get way more interesting when there's an altercation between someone on the court and off the court. There's one guy that's a character when it comes to the NBA, and guess what? He isn't even a player. Yes, I'm talking about Shannon Sharpe. He's a Hall of Fame NFL player, and he's sure got the confidence and ego of a legendary player. My man had a heated conversation with Memphis Grizzlies players Ja Morant, Dillon Brooks, and Morant's father. This happened at the end of the first half of their game against the Los Angeles Lakers on Friday night. The whole world was watching the Grizzlies and the Lakers. The game was shown on national TV, man. Sharpe went up against Ja Morant, the biggest character in the league. Morant has no limits to his confidence, and the baller is not afraid to go up against anyone, whether it be on the court or off the court. During the first half, the Fox Sports personality talked to Brooks and then yelled at Morant on the last play of the second quarter. No athlete likes to be yelled at by someone off the court. You and I know this. Now you might be wondering how all of this went down. It all began at halftime. When the halftime buzzer went off, Brooks yelled at Sharpe, and Sharpe pointed in Brooks' direction. Morant walked towards Sharpe as he sat in his courtside seat, but center Steven Adams got in his way. Steven Adams is sure as hell a big guy. No one would want to mess with him. The 54-year-old told T. Morant, "I bet you won't," as security guards tried to break up the fight.
And you see Steven Adams comes over to protect his guy along with the supporting cast, and then
Brooks didn't want to say anything at first, so he said, "You could ask him about that. He's the blogger or whatever he is."
You look like before halftime he said
something. I ain't talking about that. You can ask him. He's the blogger, whatever he is. I don't really care about all that.
Then he came back to the subject a little later. I'm sure Sharpe found it offensive to be called a blogger. That's just dirty. Props to Brooks, though. He hit the right nerve. Morant and Grizzlies coach Taylor Jenkins both said that they didn't want to talk about what happened. T. Morant, Ja Morant's father, also joined the conversation before security at Crypto.com Arena broke everyone up.
Shannon Sharpe still talking, and T. Morant, Ja Morant's dad, comes over. Had an opportunity to talk to T. Morant, and he said, my blood pressure didn't go up a bit.
The fans sure did enjoy what went down, but there might be some backstory as to why this altercation went down. Shannon is a longtime LeBron supporter. Sharpe hasn't been shy about how much he likes Lakers star LeBron James on his daily sports opinion TV show Undisputed. At halftime, he talked to an ESPN reporter about the exchange. Sharpe confidently said that they didn't want this smoke. Talk about confidence. He clearly came out and took shots. The 54-year-old doesn't rate the Grizzlies ballers much. From his perspective, the Memphis players have talked a lot and tried to get ahead, but he sure wasn't interested in that. Dillon Brooks was the first one. Sharpe told him that he was too small to be LeBron's defender. Any player would take offense at that. Dillon hit back at him by swearing and using the F word at Sharpe. At this point, I'm sure we all knew things would get heated. The ex-NFL tight end replied with the same F word and told Brooks that he doesn't want Sharpe to go off. A scary sight, maybe? Guess what happened after this? Ja started talking out of nowhere. He didn't want these problems at all. And if the son is talking, then so will the father, and it was clear that he didn't want any trouble. Sharpe later said that he wanted everything they had, though. He wanted to let the audience know that they were trying. I guess we can't know this for sure, but things eventually did calm down, and unexpectedly, a truce was called. Sharpe and T. Morant talked to security in the arena's tunnels before going back to their seats at the start of the second half. At the end of the third quarter, they gave each other hugs. Aw, cute, right? The Lakers went on to beat Memphis 122-121, ending the Grizzlies' run of 11 straight wins. Russell Westbrook's 29 points off the bench were the most in the game.
Hanging in the air, and again.
And going over 2 right there didn't help him.
No, it hit the first one.
Oh, my fault.
Westbrook bank shot is good.
The best part was that as entertaining as the fight was, the game was even more interesting. Things went down to the wire. Brooks was asked if Sharpe and other fans who got into a fight with a player should be able to return to their seats. A regular pedestrian like him? No, he shouldn't have come back into the game at all. But this is Los Angeles, Brooks said. The baller was holding nothing back. You could say the reason the Grizzlies lost was because the fight got into their head. Who knows? All of this sounds like a WWE fight promo, but there's one character that's still left to talk about. LeBron James did have some things to say too. If I'm being honest, LeBron James, or as we all know him, LBJ, simply defended his friend Sharpe. This was pretty much expected because of all the times we've seen Sharpe come to LeBron's defense on the Undisputed show. In the post-match conference, the GOAT came out and told the press that he rides with Shannon 24/7, 365 days a year, 366 days a year on leap years.
I ride with Shannon 365 days, 66 on a leap year, 24/7. So that's my guy. So I always got his back, and he got mine. So
He's his man, and they've always had each other's backs. The Lakers man confidently pointed out that Shannon can definitely talk with the best of them. Sharpe wasn't the only one LeBron defended that night. LeBron had to go up against the whole Grizzlies squad and eventually did come out on top. That's just LBJ, right? He's inevitable. The game went back and forth all night long, and the Lakers eventually did come out on top. You might be wondering how the game ended. It ended most amazingly, and because of this whole fight fiasco, no one really talked about it. Dennis Schroeder got a game-winning steal and scored to give the Lakers the lead.
Toscano Anderson double team, stripped and stolen. Schroeder on the steal, drives inside, puts it in. The Lakers take the lead.
After they were down by double digits. To the fans, this might be less important than, well, everything else up there. But this was a huge victory for the Lakers. They needed this to get back up in the standings. Who knows, after this game, Shannon Sharpe might always be sitting on the sidelines. His presence sure did help the Lakers. He most certainly will be loved by the Lakers fans for a long time. Russell Westbrook scored 29 points to lead the Lakers, and LeBron James scored 23 more. Only twice this season has Los Angeles won.
Jackson falls down. Clark guarding James. James backs in. Head fake. No fake. Layup is good. The 30.
When they were behind after 3 quarters. What a stat, right? Now that the game had finished, there was still something left to address. And to my surprise, Shannon Sharpe actually apologized on live TV.
I want to apologize for my behavior. You know, guys, I've preached for the last 6.5 years, responsibility and accountability. And I take full responsibility for what transpired.
Sharpe apologized for 3 minutes at the start of Monday's episode of Undisputed. He named so many people.
More specifically, I want to apologize to Dylan Brooks. He is a fierce competitor, and seeing him up close, I get a sense of why he is what he is and how he's wired the way he's wired.
From Brooks and Morant.
Ja, it was a privilege and an honor to watch you up close and personal. Is unbelievable and extremely impressive. And I want to apologize to you.
To LeBron James.
Also want to apologize to LeBron James because y'all know how I feel about him. And bro, I'm sorry that I put you in this situation. Support me in something like this. So I want to apologize to you. I want to apologize.
And members of his own family, to whom he was sorry. Fair enough, right? He apologized to the fans and both organizations especially for bringing unwanted attention to both sides and ruining the whole atmosphere of the arena. He knows he has a platform to influence people and that people actually look up to him. Brooks was specially mentioned, and he understands why Brooks was the way he was on Friday night. Brooks and Ja are fierce competitors and take nothing from anyone on the court, so it was understandable why they acted the way they did. He admitted that he's never too big to apologize. Say sorry, and admit that he was in the wrong. The Undisputed Man ended the apology by apologizing to the TV broadcasters and anyone that had to answer for his wrong actions in the arena that night. I guess it's all a happy ending now, huh? And that's that. What do you think about this whole altercation?